All right, 1 2 1 2 in the place to be. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? I am Frank Webb, and this is another edition of In the Dungeon Show. I want to thank you off the top for joining me in conversation, and I am really excited about this show. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in the world of sports, and we made it. The start of football season, start of college football season. This time of year in sports, I'm not going to compare it to the pandemic, but it's similar in this respect. We all had to find a new way to do life during that particular time. And when football season goes away, the world doesn't end. But you feel like it for a very short period of time because we're so enthralled by football and sports in general. And, the pandemic happens once every 100 years, so maybe that will continue to follow through. That's something I want to see again in my lifetime. But we found a way to do different things. And we do that every year in the smallest of comparisons when football season's over. With that said, it's here. Major college football starts next week, and 2 weeks after that, the NFL starts. And Tuesday is not a day that a lot of players like to see because it's cut down day. We've had an opportunity to review the 32 teams in the NFL during the preseason. And we get an opportunity to talk about it leading up to the start of the season. So we're going to do that. We're going to focus heavily at the start on the 49ers. There's a lot of people who follow the 49ers check the show out. But everything is open. I am so excited to take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number one, I'm a Mike Tomlin fan. But I think Aaron Rodgers has one more card to play in his illustrious career, certainly first ballot Hall of Famer. And I want to see how he does. We're going to talk about the 49ers, but we can talk about all the NFL teams. That's fair game. Some NBA news is out there as well. We'll touch on that. Nothing new concerning the Golden State Warriors, but there's an interesting take that I have about them. But there's some stuff to talk about. If you look beyond the 49ers and maybe the Raider fans, I'm sure there's still some Raider fans out there. The Shedeur Sanders topic is still heavy on the minds of a lot of sports fans, and we can touch on that as well. I have two takes. I have one that's probably pretty consistent with how people feel, but there's another take on the whole Sanders aura that I'm going to talk about. And I think it also relates to his brother, Shiloh Sanders, undrafted free agent safety, who was trying to win a spot with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and seemingly had done so until he made a brutal mistake yesterday and got ejected from the game. And subsequently, he was cut by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, what does that mean? I think there's something there, and we're going to talk about it. Golden State Valkaries. If you are, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, and you don't like or appreciate what these young ladies are doing, you need to get on board because it is simply fantastic. 19 wins in a WNBA season, the most wins by any expansion team, and there's more meat on the bone out there for them. They're trying to secure a playoff spot, and I think if they go 5-3 the last 8 games, they're definitely in. If they go 4-4, they probably also get in. All right. Before I go any further, I have to acknowledge the great Kobe Bryant. This show is dedicated to him. His birthday was yesterday, actually. But today, 8/24, is known as Kobe Bryant Day. And before I came on air, I was watching some highlights, and I understand why he is a lot of people's GOAT. If Mike is the GOAT, the consensus is Michael Jordan is the greatest player who ever played by a lot of people, millions. I understand why Kobe Bryant is a lot of people's GOAT. Because he did things that no one has ever done, even Jordan, culminating in his 81-point performance against the Toronto Raptors. Jalen Rose still got ice on his ankles, the whole team. But I'm going to tell you something. Low key, his 62 and 3/4 against, I don't remember the team, that might be even more incredible. This dude was special. I actually got a Kobe Bryant story. I might have told it before. If I forget, remind me, because it's a pretty cool Kobe Bryant story. Got a chance to meet him early on in his career, and he came through for me. I asked him to do something, and he came through. That was pretty cool. I also have a movie review that I'm going to touch on, and sometimes you get lucky. I can kind of pick movies pretty well, but I stumbled on a movie this past weekend, that was a gift as far as I'm concerned, and I want to share that gift with you. The movie is called Relay, and it's excellent. It stars Riz Muhammad, and we'll talk about that a little later in the show. But once again, my name is Frank Red. This is the In the Dungeon Show. I want to thank everybody out there that consistently checks out the program. Much appreciated. Hit the like button at the start, and subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the channel. It certainly helps out. This is our 160th show, and got me thinking a little bit, because Tommy Fleetwood, I know, for you golf aficionados out there, I don't talk a lot about golf, but I am a fan of golf. I caddied for over 10 years. I know golf very well. Started as a 13-year-old. But Tommy Fleetwood, the guy's been on a tour for over probably 10 years, maybe longer than that. He won his first PGA tournament today, and it happens to be the Tournament of Champions, the Club Championship, the biggest tournament. And perseverance. He's getting paid every week. He has a tour card, but it took him 164 tournaments to win on the PGA Tour. I'm sure he's won over in Europe. But it got me thinking about, what is an accomplishment that you are proud of? What's something that you're proud of? It doesn't have to be real loud, but what is something that you are proud of? I might share, one or two things that maybe don't mean a lot to a lot of people, but they mean a lot to me. Because it's really important to persevere, to deal with adversity. And that leads into something I'm going to talk about at the start regarding Shedeur Sanders. All right. Before I get started, I want to go out and acknowledge Frantic Rage, who wants to talk about the movie Relay. Frantic Rage, what's up? Relay was awesome. Was going to ask you about it. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the movie later on in the show. But you're my music guy, Frantic. We vibe on that level. Yo, think about it. If you ever want to do a movie review show, I mentioned to do one. We can pick a movie and we can do a show. All right? Let me know if you're interested. I'll talk to you a little later. Young West, 79. Hello, Frank. Have you had a chance to watch the Basketball Africa Cup these last couple of weeks? It's been great. A lot of talent over there. I haven't watched the playoffs, but I've certainly watched it throughout the season. And yeah, there is a lot of talent. Absolutely. And here's a little thing out loud. 10, 15 years from now, maybe even sooner, NBA Africa is actually going to be a big thing. It would not surprise me if you have American-born players going over there. For whatever reason, at the tail end of their careers, they get a big bag. Maybe there's an African young man who wants to stay on that continent. A lot of different reasons why NBA Africa is going to continue to grow, and why a lot of Americans are already invested. I believe Barack Obama is actually invested. So a lot of talent around the world. There's absolutely no doubt about that. SGA, I'm going to say this to you, brother. You got 443 subs. Fantastic. I think that's great. Keep doing your thing. The San Francisco, well, let me start with Shedeur. The consensus out there in the sports ether is that Shedeur Sanders got set up by the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to say, to a certain degree, he probably did. He did, right? Was it malicious? I don't think it was malicious. I think they said, let's see what he can do. They put him out there with a bunch of guys who are going to be cut, and he really couldn't make a play. The one miraculous play that Shedeur made after scrambling, hit a guy right in the chest, and he drops the ball. The guy probably still would be running now. We would be talking about that play had he held on to the football. But he dropped it, and unless you watch that game, you don't even know what I'm talking about. But it was a miraculous play by Shedeur. And the general manager, Barry, of the Cleveland Browns, has come out and said that he is not opposed to keeping 4 quarterbacks, intimating that all 4 of those current quarterbacks will make the team. And I get it. It's kind of a lightweight compliment to all of the guys who are wearing that uniform at quarterback. But there's a part of me that wants to see Shedeur traded to somebody else, maybe even cut. I mean, when you look at O'Connell of the Raiders hurting his wrist, being injured, he's going to be out 4 to 8 weeks. I would love to see Shedeur get picked up by the Raiders. I want to see him go somewhere where he's going to get a real opportunity. Not to, quote, be the starter, but to develop as a pro. Now, here's where I have a different take. Shedeur, he does a great interview. By all accounts, he's a nice young man, very talented. No way he should have been drafted in the 5th round. But Shedeur needs to read the room and deal with adversity better than he showed in the preseason. This is just my opinion. Everything's not going to be laid out for you. There are people in this world who are going to screw you. The people who don't like you for whatever reason. And the only thing you can do is actually act in a way that we're talking about now, which is overcoming adversity. Fortunately, I've been living for a long time and I've watched football for a long time. I'm thinking to myself, you ever heard of Doug Williams? The greatest quarterback in the history of Grambling University. Drafted in the 1st round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 20, 30 plus years ago. Who ultimately won a Super Bowl as quarterback of the Washington NFL team. His career was in the dump. And by the way, literally the year after he won the Super Bowl, he wasn't even starting anymore. That guy has gone through it. Warren Moon, before my time, before I started watching football, the great Hall of Famer Warren Moon was was dealing in the Pac-8, I guess it was at that time, the University of Washington. Never got a chance to play in the NFL out of college. He was clearly one of the best quarterbacks. Had to go over to Canada to build a Hall of Fame career over there, and finally got his opportunity as a member of the Houston club and became a Hall of Famer in the NFL. We think he wasn't good enough out of high school? Tony Dungy, the Hall of Fame coach, played quarterback in college. Never had an opportunity to play quarterback. No, we're going to move you to D-back. Joe Gilliam. Joe Gilliam was Terry Bradshaw's backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Went to an HBCU. Tremendous quarterback. I was a little bitty kid just being introduced to the game. But I saw, I had good common sense. He never had a chance to compete with Terry Staubach to win that job. The Staubach won 4 Super Bowls. Hall of Famer. But Joe Gilliam might have been just as good. My point is, what Shedeur is going through now is not right. But he's not the first person to go through adversity. Tanner Monarchy, a guy who I think is probably won the third string job of the 49ers now after his performance yesterday. You know, the 49ers cut him 10 days ago and then brought him back. Everything about the 49ers this year has said that they wanted Carter Bradley to be the third string quarterback. And I'm like, why? How do you think Tanner Monarchy feels? This is a guy who's transferred several colleges, never really got an opportunity. Literally yesterday, I believe he played his way on the 53-man roster. Shiloh Sanders. Punches a guy on the Buffalo Bills in front of the referee because he's rough-shotting you a little bit and playing past the whistle, I thought. You know, I thought the guy was acting like a jackass, to be honest with you. But that's not how you react, period. I don't care if you're an undrafted free agent or you're a first-round pick. Literally, think about making that play costing your team the game. And I like Shiloh Sanders. I mean, I think he's a NFL player. But you can't do that. I don't know if it relates to Shiloh or Shedeur, but I see it in a lot of sports in general now. I mean, there's something called privilege that certain people have had throughout their lives. And most of the time, it's not really associated with Black people. But now, things are kind of changing because we have a lot of rich Black people in this country. A lot of my athletes who are, you know, the mothers and fathers of young athletes trying to come up now. And there's a level of privilege that these young people come up with. I don't have to give you 10,000 names because you know who they are. It doesn't make it right for anybody, even though it happened. But, you know, when I came up, everybody had to earn everything, regardless of who your parents were. You have to earn it. And there are people out there who want to stop you. They want to hate on you. You think that the people on the Cleveland Browns, the free agents, the late round draft picks, don't know that, you know, Shedeur is already a millionaire many times over? Think they don't know that? You know? So he has to be on his P's and Q's. And he has to, I think he needs to humble himself because he has it. And I'm not going to be one of these people saying that, yo, you know what? This is a travesty. It's wrong. But game recognized game. See the game. We know. We know he's getting screwed. We know that there was some semblance of collusion when he came out of the draft. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure it out. But what did he do? He went out there and had his opportunity and he shined. Yesterday was not a good day. He didn't get any help from his teammates. And his body language and how he dealt with the adversity wasn't the best. It's just not talking about him. It's anybody. I mean, it's hard to accomplish goals and to do things in life. People get promoted over you. You know, people try to screw you in the job. You own your own business. You're getting screwed by tariffs now. There's so many different things. Life is a learning. It's one big lesson. It's a journey. You know, see the big picture. So I'll probably come back to that too, because it means a lot to me, and privilege is something that needs to be talked about. What's up, Keith? What's up, Frank? I heard the courts are letting Brian Flores' lawsuit against NFL proceed. What's the significance of this ruling? Does it mean the billionaire owners will be held accountable? Possibly, but knowing how litigation works, knowing how powerful the NFL is, I think if Brian Flores really wants an opportunity to be a head coach, which I think he deserves, he's going to get an opportunity to be a head coach, I believe, and that bag's going to be different. All right, it's about that bag. I mean, court cases are long and drawn out. You can be proven right and still not feel like you won. Another example I'll give you is the new documentary that Spike Lee did. I guess Jamel Hill was involved in it. To what extent, I don't know. Regarding Colin Kaepernick, that ESPN was supposedly, allegedly, they were going to release. And then all of a sudden they got in bed with the NFL. And ESPN bought the NFL network. And guess what? It's never coming out. NDA, right? Did Spike Lee get paid? Yeah, he got paid. Of course he got paid. Did Colin Kaepernick get paid? If he was a part of it, yeah, he probably got a check too. These checks are big. And these conglomerates are totally entrenched in the court system. It doesn't mean that they won't take a hit. But I think at the end of the day, if no one is violently harmed, it comes to about the money. You know, because none of us are going to be on this planet for a long, forever. Brian Flores is probably one of the highest paid defensive coordinators in the NFL already. If he's not, he should be. He probably is. And I think he might get another opportunity to be a head coach. But if they settle, he's going to get paid. We know this. He says, looking back at it, would you still trade for Jimmy Butler or have $52 million to spend elsewhere this offseason? I would make the trade because I think that he elevated all of the players around him. If I quickly look at the landscape of who's out there, most of the time $52 million players come into an organization and they think that, this is my show. I make $52 million. So, psychologically and from an ego perspective, Jimmy Butler is perfect because he has a team first mentality and his skill set fits the Warriors. What I'm still hesitant about is giving Miami the first round pick. I don't think they needed to do that. I don't think they needed to do it. Miami wanted him gone. And Phoenix was his other destination, and they couldn't really make the trade. So I think Miami got over on the Warriors when they gave up that first round pick. I don't remember who the player was they drafted this year, but the Warriors didn't have any picks. I still think they could have got Jimmy Butler. But yeah, I would have done the trade. I think it's good. And Stephen Curry, I'm sure, you talk to him now, he's like, whoa, I'm so happy they did it. So Steph wanted it. It worked out. I would do the trade. I don't know if there's a $52 million player out there that they want to pay right now. Gridocious, how you doing, my brother? Yeah. All of the linemen that played with Shador was cut today. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's just terrible. That just got awful. I mean, cut me. All right, cut me. But I'm not going out like that. I mean, the houses around me might be on fire, but my house is not going to be on fire. We're talking man-to-man blocking. Very few stunts. We're just smashing those guys. That's just unacceptable. He said, I heard Gruden say he would love to coach in the SEC. Do you see this happening? Because the NFL is blackballing him. Yeah, I see it happening. Mississippi State, right? I mean, listen, man. These are bloodthirsty universities that are focused on one thing, winning. And how many coaches do you know could go into the SEC and build a winning program at Mississippi State? And I don't know if it's that particular school, but there are schools out there. Auburn. I mean, have you heard some of the comments from, from Pearl and Auburn? You think Auburn doesn't want to win? I think it's 50-50 that John Gruden will coach in major college football or the NFL. Because again, I think the way that the legal process is working, Gruden wants to win in the courts, but he also wants to coach. Again, if he wins in the court, does he really win? If he can't do something that he loves to do, it's about that bag. It's about that bag. We've seen it in politics. We've seen it in life. People will take out a pen and write their own script, write their own ending. John Gruden might run for senator one day. As many people who are aghast at what he said about people, just as many love him, probably even more love him. I look at him like, when I see John Gruden, the first word that comes to my mind is not racist. I don't. Now, I don't know him personally. Even knowing some of the comments that he made, I don't get racist. I get ignorant. I get football savant, but maybe not more than that. I can't think of anything outside of football that he's ever said. I go, wow, that was really engaging. That was really intelligent. I just think he's a regular guy. Like most people, we're all regular people. And I think he thought he was in a safe space, and he started saying stuff that he wouldn't say in public. And NFL held it against him while shielding, the billionaires. So, to think that someone in his position would conduct himself like that, yeah, I get it. But I've been around Gruden a little bit, covered the Raiders in practice down at Napa. I don't get racist from him. I don't. I don't know if he's apologized or whatever the case, but I don't believe in not giving people chances. I don't believe that, which is why, again, I always go back to it. This Mark Jackson thing, this is one of the worst things that I can remember in sports in my lifetime. God awful. You're talking about somebody who I've been competing against my whole life. In a couple of weeks, just to kind of tell you, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to go to this year's Basketball Hall of Fame weekend in Springfield, Massachusetts. And going to bring back a lot of memories because I'm probably going to see a lot of people who I haven't seen in a long period of time. And I don't know if Mark's going to be there, but maybe he is. I would assume Kenny Smith's going to be there. I'm going to see a bunch of people who I haven't seen in a long time who I've competed against, who've gone on and done illustrious things. And whatever, Mark Jackson did or said, we don't know. Why can't he get a second chance? He's a hell of a coach, an absolute hell of a coach. And I would love to see him have another opportunity. My name is Frank Red, everybody. This is the In the Dungeon Show. Hope you're hitting the like button. And subscribe to the show. SGA, I'm going to put this on screen because I want you to really hear yourself talk for a second. This is what you said. People screw me because they are jealous of how good I look and I compose myself, and people want to be like me and have a good demeanor like me. All right, bye. That's why I don't let you on my show. You need to grow up, dude. Keys. I can't wait for Ohio State versus Texas this weekend. I love the great vibe, stadiums, and mascots of college football. I love it too. College basketball, another game I love, doesn't have the same energy as the NBA. If I had my chance to watch the best of the best, I'm going to watch the NBA. But college football is so good, I don't even compare college football to the NFL. They're totally different games while being just as entertaining. That Kansas State, Iowa State game in Ireland yesterday, was that riveting or what? That was awesome. Oh yeah, man. I mean, I'm a happy guy. And over the next 3 months, I'm usually pretty productive on the weekends, right? Beyond the podcast, doing other stuff. I'm going to have to work hard to be really, really productive over the next 3 months. Outside of the podcast, I'll get it in the gym. I'll run some errands. I'll do what I need to do. But it's hard. I mean, how do they expect people to do anything? Think about it. All of these games on Saturday, literally from the time you wake up until night, you're watching football. And then you go to sleep and you watch the NFL all day. I mean, it's crazy. I love it, man. With regards to the 49ers, I think Jeff Wilson played as well on the team. I mean, a lot of times, sometimes I'll be on other podcasts and I hear people say stuff, or I hear, people will make comments. I don't care what Jeff Wilson's yards per carry is. When I saw Jeff Wilson, literally the day that he got here from Miami, he looked like the same guy when he left. He gets off the ball quick. He hits the hole quick. He understands this offense. I think he's going to get that, that third or fourth string running back position. If everybody is healthy right now for the 49ers, I think running back is actually a position of strength for them. I do. Young West, why doesn't USA team have any NBAers in the America? But the other country teams in this tournament do have NBA players. USA losing to Uruguay right now. I got two thoughts. I don't know this specifically, but I think if you are the host Olympic team, you're already in the Olympics. All right. So we don't have to qualify for the Olympics in 28. Secondly, this is not the World Cup. The World Cup is going to be in 2 years. You're going to see some NBA players. And I think everybody else, number one, they have to qualify, but they're looking for wins. I mean, everybody outside of the United States is trying to position themselves as the heir apparent to the United States as the best country in basketball. So I think we just kind of, and I think this is a European thing. Yeah, I don't know if America is even invited. I think this is a Euro tournament, I think. Anybody out there want to correct me, feel free. Glendoshis, the rainbow community is one of the most powerful communities in the world. But your mark makes all the way right with them. He'll never be back in the league coaching. It's an interesting point because I haven't heard that take before, Glendoshis. It's interesting. Yeah, because here's the thing. When Tim Hardaway was on ESPN and he said some things that I'm sure he's not proud of about that community, allegedly, he got counseling. He apologized 1,000 times. I think he really, became a more enlightened person. I don't know what Mark said. If you can find something that is factual about what he said, I would love to see it. I know that many of the reports that came out talked about he being a preacher and a minister, that lifestyle doesn't align with his values. I don't think that ever has to change. But what I think needs to change is, like you said, to show humanity to people to the extent that you accept that your values are not someone else's values. Your way of living is not someone else's, and everybody has an opportunity to love who they want to live and live how they want to live. I think he can get there without changing his philosophy. I don't know. I think you can have your own philosophies in life, but I think when you are in a public place, those are yours. Those are not everybody else's. So I think he can get there, but I need to know what he said publicly because I've never heard that. Thank you for that, though. I appreciate you, and I'm happy that, again, man, the longer you live, the more enlightened you should be. If you work with people, you are going to work with all types of people. And what you're going to realize is that their sexuality or who they love, none of that stuff really matters. It doesn't matter, period. So, yeah, I don't share that philosophy. Those philosophies, I don't. Now, at the same time, while I am very spiritual, I'm not very religious. I'm very spiritual. I believe in a higher power, God. But my religion, my spirituality is treat me how I treat you. Reciprocity. That's what I believe in. And I live by that. Key says, I really hope Robbie Chosen makes the Niners. I know he's a good player. Hearing him talk after the game assures me he's a good leader as well. I'm gonna tell you and everybody else a funny story. I pride myself on the facts and knowing sports. I watch a lot of sports. I do research, this and that. And I felt kind of sorry for Monica McNutt because she had an unpleasant moment on First Take in which she, couldn't tell the difference between a Barry Sanders jersey and a George Sanders jersey. And it was like, I'm like, nobody wants to be in that position. But the idea of her being crucified and ESPN's going to lose the locker room, she probably feels horrible about it. I mean, can we stop that and give her the respect that she deserves? And at the same time, if she's going to be in that space, then she got to step her game up like everybody else. But I am a big fan of Monica McNutt. All this, well, she DEI. I mean, stop it, man. Stop it. I was on Larry Kruger's show last week, and I'm watching this guy, Robbie Chosen, and we're talking about the stats. He had like 10 catches for 92 yards. And at that particular moment, I didn't realize that Robbie Chosen was Robbie Anderson. I know Robbie Anderson. I watched his entire career blowing up with the Jets. But I had a split-second brain malfunction. And I laughed about it later on that evening. But even Robbie Chosen still sounds a little weird to me to reference him as that, even though that's his name, because he's been Robbie Anderson throughout his entire football career up until recently. So he's going to make the team. He's going to make the team, I think, because DeMarcus is suspended for the first 3 games. So, DeMarcus Robinson. So they need a reliable pass catcher. And Robbie Anderson, like you said, I mean, he's a pro. This guy's in the league 10 years, still good, great shape, catches the ball, knows how to run routes, catches the ball over the middle, and still has some top-end speed. And he's actually done it on the field. A lot of these cats come in and they're high draft picks and, I got 4-3 and all that crap. And they get on the field, they don't make it happen. Marcus Robinson and Robbie Chosen have given Shanahan the opportunity to sleep at night. When you consider Juwan Jennings not being there, the wide receiver's propensity to get hurt, Pearsall. I like Pearsall. I think he's gonna be a good player, but he's been fragile. He says, I heard the Niners are telling Jennings they will IR him if he can't practice soon, making him ineligible for the first 4 games and costing him a lot. He's about to come back, or it's going to get ugly, maybe both. Well, I mean, only thing that would cost him is face, because he's getting paid. If he's on the IR, he's getting paid. So I agree with you, though. I think at this point, the way that Juwan wins is if he comes back and he has a 1,300 yard season. That's how he wins. Now, is he putting his career in jeopardy by playing on a 1-year deal? Yeah, he is. He is. But you know what? It's all about leverage. And these plays don't work for everybody. And the 49ers have some leverage or they put their foot down. And I get it. It sucks, because they can't give Fred Warner enough money. I think Fred Warner deserves every penny. They gave Brock Purdy everything he wanted and some. George Kittle is not worried about money. I don't think Juwan Jennings has been shown the respect that he deserves. You don't trade Debo without having Juwan Jennings under contract. The guy's going to make $7.5 million this year. Now, who wouldn't love to have $7.5 million? But let's compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. He's underpaid as a starting wide receiver. He is. So the 49ers have chose to make this ugly because he comes back this year, and there's a good chance I think he will come back because, again, I think his best play at this point is to go out and just have a great year. But he's not going to be happy about that. I wanted to also mention Tariq Owens, Terrell Owens' son. I mean, for this young man to live out his dream, did not go to a big-time college, to have the 49ers give him an opportunity, for him to take advantage of the opportunity, catch his first touchdown, even though it's in preseason. I mean, you really feel for people like that because you know how hard it is to be the son or the daughter of a Hall of Famer? Good luck with that. So again, going back to where I started at the beginning of the show, you know, what have you done in your life that you're really, really proud of? I'm happy and proud of that young man. Hopefully he'll make the practice squad. And even Jerry Rice's son is on the Chargers. I don't know if he'll make the 53, but maybe he'll make the practice squad as well. I mean, I give anybody credit for going out and living out your dream. Remember when our parents, our grandparents tell us, you know, life is really short. Life is really short. And you're like 7, 8 years old, you know, and you got to take the garbage out and you're tired or, you know, something didn't go right in your little life. And you're like, what do you mean life is short? I got all of these years. And then the years start stacking up. And then, you know, you start to get slowly and slowly away from some of the goals and dreams that you had wanted to accomplish in your life. And you have to rely on some other goals and dreams that you had to make sense of your existence. So that's part of it. I mean, the fact that these young people have an opportunity to chase their dreams, to me, is really what's all about because so many of us don't or didn't have that opportunity to really just go chase your dream. You know, I mean, I love investing in other people's journeys. I love it. I love it. It brings me great joy. And the best part about it is legitimately having a feeling that the people that you help don't owe you anything. They owe you nothing. That's a real joy. You got to get there. You know, because we live in a world that is, well, I did this for you. I owe you this. No, they don't owe you anything. You defeated the purpose of helping someone if you expect them to give you something back in return. Don't give me anything. I don't need it. Now, with that said, when you get an unexpected gift, when someone does something for you that you don't expect, you really appreciate it. Curtis Robinson, linebacker who's been injured multiple years, got a pick 6 and looks like he's going to make the team for the 49ers this year. I was happy for that young man. He was running from year to year. Nick Martin, much maligned Nick Martin, his 4th round draft pick out of Oklahoma State. He had his best game yesterday with the 49ers. Looks like he's going to be decent. I think he's going to benefit also from playing with Fred Warner. Fred Warner coaching him up on the field. I think it's going to happen. It's going to help him. And Chad Surratt, a guy who I've watched since he was at North Carolina, the former quarterback, plays linebacker now. He had 11 tackles yesterday. I think he got a chance to make the 53. I think they would certainly like to bring him back if he clears waivers and put him on the practice squad. But I think he's going to be on somebody's team. Not real fast. Sometimes reacts slowly, but he plays hard. He plays hard. I think he's gonna make it. Key says, I'm comfortable with Chosen and Gage, two vets who are hungry. Yeah, they're good players. They're good players. I mean, Gage has had a phenomenal career. He had multiple great years in Atlanta, and Chosen's just a pro. So I like where the 49ers are at this point. I think they can win 10 games, 11 games, 12 games. I think the winner of this division is probably going to win 12 games. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in Stafford because I think he's hurt. I think Matthew Stafford is hurt. I think his body's going to take a beating this year. They'll probably get him on the field more times than not. But it's going to be a tough one for him. So I'm really impressed with Robert Saleh, how he's changed the entire personality of the 49ers in ways that the previous defensive coordinator did not. He knows how to call a game, and he knows how to get his players ready to play. So defensively, I think they're going to fly around, and however they need to put pressure on the quarterback, they're going to do it. If the front four doesn't do it, they're going to have some creative blitzes to allow them to get home. That's solid. Jair Brown is going to get traded or released, I believe. Do you have any surprise cuts? Brown would be a surprise to me. Cowling would be a surprise to me because they've talked him up. He was a fourth-round pick. He's real fast, but he's been injured. I could see him going on IR. I could see him being cut. So yeah, I think Brown is interesting, and that kind of bothers me a little bit. I'm gonna tell you why. I've watched Jair Brown quite a bit at Penn State. He was a stud at Penn State. And he's played some decent football for the 49ers. But I guess watching him every day in practice, he didn't play real well yesterday. I get it. I think Jair Brown is one of those guys, though, who plays better in the games than he does in practice and maybe in games in which he is not totally focused in. I think he can play football. I do. But yeah, I think he would definitely get picked up. If the 49ers cut Jair Brown, I think he would definitely get picked up by somebody like the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens, a team that can really simplify your responsibility. I think he's a decent player. I think the 49ers need to keep him. Cowling, I don't know. Garindo, I mean, you would assume these guys are going to be on the team somehow just based off name recognition. Not that they've done anything. I'll give you one surprise. I would be surprised if Mordecai gets cut at this point. I think Tanner Mordecai, played well enough to make the team. I would be surprised. I also wanted to talk about Malik Beasley transitioning to the NBA for a second. It came out that the FBI is no longer investigating him for alleged wrongdoings in gambling. I got a take on it. This is a guy who was on the cusp of signing a 3-year, $42 million deal with the Detroit Pistons. Had a phenomenal year last year. This year, he's going to sign for the veterans minimum, mid-level minimum, something like that. I think it's the Knicks. Some other teams are interested for around maybe, at best, $7 or $8 million. 42 million, 3 years. That's generational wealth. Now, I actually heard Rick Mahorn talk about this on NBA, on the NBA channel yesterday. And Rick Mahorn said now that he has been vindicated, I don't know if that's the right word, now that he is no longer a suspect, I hope people don't look at him in a way that implies that he still, might be guilty in some form or fashion. Nothing has been proven that he is guilty. In fact, they're no longer investigating him. This is my take on it. I think that the FBI is like, you know what? Something doesn't smell right here, but I don't know if we can prove it. So because we can't prove it, we're going to let it go. That's one take. The other take is we've already got him, or we've already harmed him because he's not getting that $42 million contract. You know what I'm saying? So they might feel that they've already won. It's a dirty game. Just because you're not being considered or you're not being investigated, it doesn't mean that that entity doesn't think that you're totally innocent. I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. I hope he's not. I assume he's not. But life sucks sometimes. I mean, he's not getting that $35 million back this year that he lost. I know that. I hope the best for the brother. That was something that I wanted to get out there because I'm thinking to myself, you can be guilty by association and it could ruin you. So I don't know what lessons he's going to learn. Maybe that's not a lesson. Maybe he's just a victim of somebody who was really getting screwed. And for whatever reason, his name was involved. I have no idea. But you don't get a redo this year. Literally, the money was on the table. And the money's gone now just because you were investigated. Call me a nerd. I love being a nerd. I don't understand how you could be a professional athlete. And I don't mean him. There have been several. How can you be a professional athlete and risk all that money, your career, your reputation, everything? Now, I'm not a big gambler. So I don't understand what that uncontrollable feeling of gambling is. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And with the proliferation of gambling in America and around the world, I understand how people can get overwhelmed. I get it. I just don't have those feelings. I've never had a lot of money. So the money that I have, I want to keep my money. Nobody's getting my money. Whenever I go to Vegas, I'm in the area with all the grandmas. They're putting the nickel in the slot machine. I'm with them. I can't stand the smoke, but I'm with them. Although Vegas got smart now. They don't allow you to do one coin. They have like 5 and 10 coin minimums and stuff. But that's me. The crap tables and all that stuff, I'm nowhere to be found. He says, it's all going to come down to running the ball and stopping the run. McCaffrey and Salah hopefully fix these issues we had last year. Don't forget about special teams. Special teams has been pretty decent this year, notwithstanding Moody. I'm not going to talk about Moody. I'm not going to talk about that because this is the 49ers' fault. This is their problem. Most kickers would have been cut by now. You know, as talented as this guy is, as big a leg as he has, he needs to, like Bill Parcells. With Bill Parcells, he would have been gone. Bill Parcells would not tolerate missed extra points, particularly in the NFL, where what is the margin of wins? 3 points, 4 points. Good luck making a lot of money betting football. These games are close. You know, no one said Jake Moody doesn't have the talent. He has the talent. But to miss extra points, I mean, you should miss in the course of a year when it's windy in Buffalo or a blistery in Wisconsin, in Green Bay, Chicago. What are you going to miss? What, like 3 out of 50 in a given season? Not when it's pristine weather in preseason. I don't get it. A couple other basketball topics I want to talk about. I love Pat Bev. I mean, I really do admire Pat Bev, right? But Pat Bev said if the Warriors had George, they would win. Paul George, they would probably win more championships than they won with Klay Thompson. Really? I mean, come on, man. Come on. I mean, I'm shocked by that. It doesn't mean Paul George is not a good player, but the reason why the Warriors have won as much as they have is because Stephen, Klay, and Draymond, they're special. They are winners. All they do is win. All they do is win. You don't win just because you're talented. You don't. There's something special about the players who win. The Oklahoma City Thunder, anybody who was associated with Game 6, you're taking that to your grave. That was Klay Thompson. You think that was coaching? Is that what you think? The only other person that we can envision was a couple of people, maybe 3. Kobe in a different way on Kobe Bryant Day. Nothing that Kobe could do on the court that would surprise us. Stephen Curry, I mean, he's miraculous. And Jordan. Klay Thompson, in terms of mental toughness, killer attitude, doesn't compare to Paul George. At least it hasn't thus far in his career. Thoroughly disagree with Pat Bev. I love Pat Bev. I don't like, I'm like, Pat, really? Really, Pat Bev? The other thing is Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins, as everybody knows, did not go to college, came straight out of high school, had an above average career, played, I believe, 13, 14 years, NBA champion. Good career. Swagu's son now is the #1 rated high school basketball player in his class. They're both from, I think they both live in Texas, and Kendrick Perkins' son is a basketball player as well. I can't see him not being a Division I player. But Kendrick Perkins was on the podcast, and I'm sure a lot of people share his philosophy. He thinks that if you're, quote, serious about basketball, not even playing in the NBA, if you want to get a Division I scholarship, you really shouldn't be in a traditional high school environment. You should be at essentially a basketball factory where you're getting your core classes and you're spending all of your time playing basketball to improve your skills. Logical, yes, but these are kids and everybody's different. And just because you are 6'5" with a jumper, 6'10", you got to fall in love with basketball. And you go to school to learn and to become educated. Being smart and being educated never goes out of style. Never. Never. The idea that we are here, and this is not his words, this is my mentality. The idea that we are here to work for somebody and get paid X amount of dollars, or to have even our own business and make money where all of these things around you are happening and you have no awareness of it. I don't agree with that. Why not be both? Why not go to college, become educated, realize that you're not only good at basketball or football or some other sport, and be good at everything else. I mean, I'm falling in love with science now. I can't watch enough about new planets being discovered and going to ChatGPT and asking questions that I never had anybody in my life that I could talk to about science. I love science. For example, you always hear about like space junk and things landing on our planet and it almost hit, coming from Mars, oftentimes coming from Mars. And I was wondering, well, why would stuff from space coming from Mars be driven to our planet? Is it gravity? This is me as an adult, as somebody who's interested now, saying, yeah, gravity has a lot to do with it. There's a gravitational pull. I'm thinking to myself, well, aren't there other planets around here that we haven't discovered that might? Probably. But just having a sense of curiosity about things outside of sports is what school is about. I literally should be fluent in Spanish and I'm not. I can't kick myself enough. My college girlfriend was Puerto Rican. Would have taught me any and everything I wanted to know about Spanish. Now, I got a couple of words, but I am not fluent in Spanish. And I go, dude, why aren't you fluent in Spanish? But, as the first person to graduate from college in my family, it was tough. I was surviving. I didn't understand. It's like, I need to pass these classes so I can do what I want to do. I want to play basketball. I wasn't at the point where I could really sit back and appreciate education. I don't like that. I mean, when I hear, well, this is what they do in Europe, I'm not concerned about that. I'm really not. I'm really concerned about our children in the United States. We're nowhere on the list in terms of the most educated countries in the world. And yet we have the most money and theoretically the most powerful. So I'm a strong advocate when it comes to education. I think you can do it all. I really do. Did I just have a rant? I don't think so. Key says, who goes from worst to first in the NFL this year, Frank? I'm with you. I think the Bears also. Yeah. I think there's a little slippage in Detroit. I think they'll make the playoffs, but I'm really excited about the Bears. And also, well, you know what though? I'm equally excited about the 49ers. I'm equally excited about Pete Carroll as the coach of the Raiders. The Raiders, 49ers, the Bears, and in spite of Micah not playing right now, I believe in Dak. I'm probably one of the few people that do believe in him, but I believe in Dak. Sacred Intuition says, go get Robbie Gold. He was reliable, wasn't he? TG says, Big Frank, let's go. Pitch that Mr. First Hour, best part of the week. Love this guy. Wow. Appreciate you, man. Risky. Go off. But let me say this. Let me say this again, man. I'm an information geek. I love information. I love sports. I like business, science, anything interesting. I like it all. You know how many videos I watch about the Beatles or Carole King and Van Morrison, Motown. I love all that stuff, man. I do. Allegedly, at this point, Andre Iguodala is worth about $200 million. Why? Because he's really smart. And he's really interested in so many things outside of basketball. That's why. The money that you make as a basketball player, I mean, compared to, the world, it's crazy. But there's a lot more out there that, forget about taking care of. Look, you hear people saying, whoa, I got generational wealth. Yeah? What about enough money to literally fund a freshman class to a college, build a hospital, put money in research on various, this is just me. People can do what they want to do with their money. But to me, the best part about having money, if I had any, is utilizing it in a way that impacts the world in a positive way. Not to look at my bank account. I got 39 cars. Really? Come on. Keith says, I feel the same way, Frank. Growing up in the Bay and taking Spanish in high school, I'm pissed I didn't take it more serious and be fluent in Spanish. Yeah, man. That's one of my misses. I got a lot of wins, but that's one of my losses. And the interesting thing is, me and my college girlfriend, we're still connected. We don't really see each other, or we don't talk a whole lot, but we're still connected. We still love each other. I know that, but for me not to take advantage of that is definitely something that I regret, no doubt. Frank, do you think that Sebastian Valdez makes the team? Everything that I've heard, and I'm leaning on Larry Kruger, because Larry's at practice every day, says good things about Valdez. So yeah, I think he's gonna make the team. I do. I saw him. He's aggressive. He's an aggressive pass rusher. Big hulking guy, and yeah, I think they'll probably find room for him. Do you all watch the Valkaries? Do you watch the Valkaries? If you don't, they got 8 games left. Coach Nakase, there's 13 teams in the WNBA. Nakase is clearly one of the top 5 coaches in the league. Top 5. It's not even, if she decided that she didn't want to coach in the WNBA anymore. It's not going to happen. She would be some NBA team's first or second assistant right away. Understand why Doc Rivers hired her now. Because I'm a student of the game. I understand coaching. I understand basketball. She is phenomenal as a coach. Her deep and I want to give her assistant coaches credit too, because I'm sure that they have responsibilities. But as a coaching staff, and she's responsible for everybody, they do a phenomenal job maximizing their talent. Defensively, they're usually literally the best defensive team in the league, with probably the 10th best talent, with all the injuries. Unbelievable what this team is doing. And I mean, I can't say enough about Veronica Burton. I'm not going to denigrate her talent, because she's really good. 90% free throw shooter, probably shoots around 40 from three, does not turn the ball over. I mean, she reminds me of Chauncey Billups, and Chauncey Billups in the Hall of Fame. So she's been outstanding. But she is the MVP of the team. So I can't say enough good things about the Valkaries. And how they have galvanized a community and a market, and what they're doing for young girls, man. I love it. I love it. And guys who just like basketball, we can't watch enough of it. It's so good. All right. Frantic Rage. Let's talk about our movie. I took a leap and I watched the trailer of this movie called Relay. All right. Now, keep in mind, my favorite type of movies to watch are like intelligent action movies, the Jason Bournes of the world. The Dark Knight. I love those types of movies. The Equalizer. That's a little different, but I love those types of movies. This movie Relay was actually made maybe a couple years ago. It first was shown at the Toronto Film Festival in 2024, but it actually came out this weekend, August of 2025. Now, I saw the movie in a relatively small theater, good crowd, but not a major release. This movie is excellent, and it is slept on. If you like going to the movies, go see Relay. It's probably going to be on a cable outlet in the not too distant future. So you can check it then, I guess. But if you like movies like I do, go check this movie out. It stars Riz Muhammad. He plays a guy by the name of Tom. And Tom is clearly technologically savvy, uses a lot of technology. And what he does, Tom helps people. He basically helps whistleblowers. There's a lot of whistleblowers in corporate America and around the world. This young lady, on her own volition, takes information from the company when she leaves that could put them in a negative light. She has a moment when she assesses what she has done, and she decides that she wants to give the information back. But she is afraid that, her life is in danger, and rightfully so, for numerous reasons that I won't spoil. She finds a way to reach out to this guy, Tom, who his business is helping individuals return information to corporations. They never see each other. All of their communication is done via typing translation from a free service in the city of New York. That's how they communicate. Needless to say, it gets really interesting and madness ensues. I'm going to leave it at that. But it is suspenseful. It's smart. If you like that genre of movie, if you like that genre of film, I think that you'll like Relay. So check that out. I also wanted to say, what are the themes? The themes are trust, regret, redemption, and solace. All right. There's a point of view out there. You guys know Cardi B. I don't know if you know Cardi B. She's a rapper who had a really big album a couple of years ago. She's out now. She's trying to reignite the magic, if you will. And she just redid a Jay-Z song called Imaginary Players, which is one of Jay-Z's really, really popular underground cuts. And people are saying that Jay-Z allowed Cardi B to reimagine his song so people would go back and listen to his original song, Imaginary Players. And I think it's true. I think it's absolutely true. And I think it's brilliant on Jay-Z's part. That's exactly what's going to happen. So I don't know how good her rendition of the song is. You can listen to it and make that decision yourself. But I think it definitely is going to rekindle interest in Jay-Z's song, Imaginary Players. I told y'all this is going to be a good show. So much to talk about. I wish I could do this every day. Well, not every day, but maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 times, 5 times a week. But I don't have the time. I'm so busy doing stuff. With that said, please hit the like button and subscribe to the show. Talk about the show to others who like this type of stuff. I don't do a great job marketing. I've said that before because it's true. I focus all of my time on content, on building great content, doing research and stuff like that. And I'm okay with that. So, because you guys make this so much fun for me. Let me read this. Frantic Ray says, I second that. We need more movies like this. Smart writing for sure. Absolutely. And the writer on the film, Frantic, is a gentleman by the name of Justin Piasecki, is his name. The movie was produced and directed by David McKenzie. And beyond Riz Muhammad, who plays Tom, it stars Lily James, who's phenomenal, British actress who's really, really good. And she takes interesting roles. She has an interesting role in this particular movie. And Sam Worthington of Avatar fame, he's in it as well, playing kind of a CIA operative, if you will. Good cast, great writing, great directing. Love it. I love this part of the show when Frank goes movies on us, because me and my wife go to happy hour and a movie a week. TG, thank you for entrusting me, brother. And thank your wife. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. TG says, Frank, have you thought of a Friday night show at 7 and not 9? Tons of people would tune in. Is it too late? It's too late for most at 9 o'clock. Okay. Okay, you meant Sunday. Here's the deal. I could probably do a Friday, but Sunday at 7 is tough. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because we're in football season now. So that Sunday night game is in full effect at 7 o'clock on Sunday nights. And you know what? I mean, I love it when people are participating and they're listening to the live version, but I need to do a better job marketing because I listen to a ton of pods that are not live. I just listen to the content. You know, maybe I listen to an hour and a half, but you know, I don't think grabbing 30 minutes of the show is too much to ask. I think what I need to do though is I need to start you know, cutting the show and doing segments. I'm my own producer. I don't have a producer. So it's difficult, but I really appreciate your suggestion. And in non-football season, that actually makes sense. I could probably do an earlier show. When I was doing commercial radio, I was on from 8 to 10. So 8 o'clock actually works pretty well. I don't have to do 9. Maybe I'll think about it. But during football season, I think the 9 o'clock live show works. And, you know, people to listen to the replay if they want to. All right, everybody. Almost 90 minutes. I think we're going to cut it off here. I want to thank everybody for participating. When I have fun doing the show, when I like listening, the involvement, you know, I think I've done something right. Agreed. Your show is the best, man. You have it live in sports, and we all take you so much more seriously. I dig that. All right. Success in getting paid is a manifestation of the whole process. If you as an individual don't do things to help other people make their lives better, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't done nothing. Thank you, Keys. I appreciate you. Hit the like button, subscribe to the show. My name is Frank Red. This is the In the Dungeon Show, and I'll talk to you down the road. Good night, everybody. Be safe this week. Peace.